Hey y'all, I'm Jess. Welcome back to my channel. I make crochet, crafting, vlog, commentary videos, and today is going to be a video all about stash busting. So I recently made a video talking about how large stashes are and the overconsumption problems that come alongside that, and a lot of people were asking me to make some videos about what I could use my yarn for. So I've configured some patterns and I'm going to be reviewing them and actually doing them at least somewhat as I go along, or show projects I've made similar to in the past. This first one I wanted to talk about because I'm actively doing it, and I will link this down below, but it is a Pinterest, I got off Pinterest. It's a pattern configuration of a bunch of different granny squares of all different sizes. So there are 2s, 4s, 6s, 8s, 10s, and 12s, and I mean like that's the row count around it. And I am not going to do this bottom part, I'm only going to do this because it basically just repeats. I'm like only going to do the top part because that's a bit too big of a blanket for me, but I've already started working on it, and y'all, this is just so fun. Here is this granny square. I think that was a 10 row, or that was an 8. I think these are 6s, this one and this one, and then I made this little pink one. So I think I'm gonna try to go for like a pinky kind of theme with this, but with this yarn it introduces the ability to do blues and stuff, and I think I'm gonna do this as well. But yeah, basically I'm just going to go through and use up my partial skeins for this. I don't want to use any full skeins because I'm still trying to get over my fear of breaking into a new skein of yarn. I don't know what it is, but yeah, and then I have like leftover scraps from what's technically the scraps of a skein. I am not sure just yet if I'm going to make like a 2 like with this, or if I'll use it for something else. Like I made a little jellyfish to sell. I haven't put the keychain on it yet, but like I may just do stuff like that with what's left of what's left, but that is to be determined for as of right now. But yeah, okay, so this next pattern I just finished and I love it, and it is this cute little bag, and I will link the inspiration for this bag in the description. It's a video. I didn't follow the pattern basically at all, but I'll still link it below if you're interested. It's a cute bag in itself, but I just kind of like took a little bit of it and then did what I wanted, if that makes any sense. I'm more of like a freeform crocheter when I can be. So well, I'm trying to think. This really did not use up very much yarn, so I wouldn't say it's like a certified stash busting, but I mean you could pump out some of these if you would like to sell or something like that. But yeah, basically, let me go over the pattern. Is you start with a row of chains. I forgot words. I don't remember how many it is, maybe like 30, 40, something like that. I don't know, just chain till it feels right. And then you go down it with single crochets, and then you go and you wrap around and you single crochet around and around until you, well actually what I did for this one is I did single crochets, and then I didn't go in around, I went like back and forth and back and forth, and then I started going in around. You could probably just start by going in around, but make sure to increase on the edges first so that you have like a base foundation that's like this, and then once you get that base foundation, then you can just start single crocheting around and around and around so that it starts lifting up. But at that point, make sure not to increase so that you're not still just making a very large oval, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to explain it. Just watch the beginning of that video that I link for this part and just follow that. And then after I did a handful, let me count, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I did about like 10, 11 rows of the just going in around and around with a single crochet. And at this point, I just kind of knew I wasn't going to finish this bag if I just did a bunch of single crochets. So I switched stitches and I did a gapped half double crochet, which is where you do a half double, chain in between, and then skip a stitch, and then half double, chain, skip a stitch, yeah. And then I did that for, this is where the that's the like slip stitch to the next row. But yeah, that's what I did. And then for the top part, I did a whole row of single crochets, and then I like marked off spots, and then I chained like 25. I did like a couple more chains than like the distance in between, and then I basically just slip stitched it back, went around and then went over the chain twice. And yeah, that's how I made this bag. A little bit of a long explanation, but that's how I made this little bag. Very cute. I'm probably going to sell it. And yeah, that's the second project for this video. So my next crochet idea is a temperature blanket. Now, before you freak out, temperature blankets can be a lot more versatile than you think. Some people will do temperature blankets based on temperatures from past years. So it's not necessarily that you have to do temperatures from the year as it's ongoing. You can pick the year you were born, the year your parents' anniversary started, like that kind of thing. And it can be a gift to other people. And you can say, oh, these are all the temperatures. And also, you don't have to have, so for colors, if you have a bunch of large skeins, which is something I have a handful of, you can pick one skein for each temperature and do it that way. And it doesn't, you know, have to be that red is hot and blue is cold or anything like that. It can be like any color. You can do variegated yarns for the whole thing. Do it all different types of ways, and I'm going to show you the way I chose to do it. I do have a full video on my YouTube channel about this. I'll link it if you are interested. But I did a temperature blanket where I did a square for each day, and I did the inside temperature is the lowest temperature and the outside color is the highest temperature of the day. And I think that's the end of the year. No, that's part of the year. Nope. This is the start of the year. And this was my 2023. It's really hard to like do it. I did it diagonally. You can see it better in my video, and also put a picture here of what it looks like in full. But yeah, that's one thing that you can do. Oh, there's a loose end. I'm gonna put that back now. I don't want to weave that in. That's one thing that you can do as a temperature blanket. Again, you can change up how you do it, what year you do it, what colors. I mean, it's so versatile. You don't have to restrict yourself to the same like 2 ideas that you see on the internet. Up next is a scrap blanket. So this is if you have very, very small scraps. Honestly, y'all, when in doubt, make a granny square. I have come to learn that. Or make a granny stitch, and it's something that I do a lot. And this is my scrap blanket. So basically, when I started accumulating scraps, I made this. I have a video on this too, and I'll link it down below, but I didn't make a full video on just this, but it's in a video. I started just making squares out of leftover scraps when I had enough to make a square, and so all of them are very different and versatile. This is a great way to use up some scraps. I can use like small scraps up to pretty decent sized scraps. So yeah, I'm just telling you. And scraps are very, very versatile. But yeah, when in doubt, make a granny square and then just look up what you can make with a granny square. If y'all would like, I can do a whole video on granny square ideas. That includes granny stitch or making full squares. Let me know if y'all are interested, because I would 100% be down to do that. Speaking of granny stitches, this is my all-time favorite. If you are a business owner or somebody who does market prep, I'm going to make a whole video about market prep ideas, don't worry. But these bucket hats, oh my gosh, are perfect. I will link the video down below that I use. I don't follow the pattern exactly. No surprise there. I basically do. I think I just do a little bit less increasing around the head. And then I do a little bit more increasing when the brim starts to give it that really good flare. Let me go grab my mannequin head to show y'all what it looks like. Okay, we've got Candace here. She's a little bit butchered because she got messed up during a market, but it's okay. Look how good she models that hat. See, look how cute it is. I'm obsessed, and it does look good on a person. By the way, I have a bucket hat that I made for myself that I wear, and it looks very cute. I just don't know where it is right now, or I want to put that on. But yeah, you can make that out of literally any color. You can do variegated yarns, because I know some people have nowhere to put variegated yarns, That's a great way to use variegated yarns. You can use plain colors, you can mix and match. Very versatile, and honestly, it's always going to turn out cute, I think. So yeah, bucket hats, perfect. The next item, which is also very like good for market prep, is bandanas. So basically, I don't follow a pattern for bandanas, but there is, I think Passionate Kelsey has done a video about a very similar bandana, probably nearly identical. I'll link it down below because I'm pretty sure it's literally this with the scallops and everything. But yeah, granny stitch. You can do like smaller, finer yarns I've also done before, and you just do more rows of the granny stitch around, and it's like, those are honestly cuter. I just used up acrylic first, and then I did fine, I think it's like size 2 cotton. Yeah. Okay, up next, this has to be my favorite project, and I will put a video of me wearing it on the side. And I say that because I forget to do these things. So this is my spiral scrap sweater. So initially, this is kind of embarrassing, I made this for a contest that was going on between Xbox and the new Willy Wonka movie. And I am so sad I didn't win an Xbox. I did get movie tickets, but I actually never saw the movie. But it was very tragic. I made a pair of earrings and a necklace and everything that was Willy Wonka themed, and no, instead 3 drawings won, which were good. No hate, but yeah. Anyway, so basically what I did is I looked up a tutorial on how to do a 4 like start granny square. Like, as you can see, it starts with 4 different strands. I'll link that down below. But instead of closing it off, I just kind of continued and continued and continued. It's very baggy and very large. It's almost like a dress on me, and I love it. But yeah, you just basically go around and around. What I did is I pre-made balls of yarn that were fit the style of each like spiral. So like this brown spiral only ever continues in dark browns. As you can see, this spiral was one singular skein of variegated yarn. So it gets, this like purple is that skein. Like I picked one that like was slow to change into a different color. And like even this like very light color, that's also that skein. So that's what I would recommend, is doing one that's like one color throughout. Or you can do all solid colors. I just prefer the like, I had a lot of yarn to use up, so I did like mix and match. All of the red streams alternate between all different types of reds. Look, y'all, this is a very versatile, let me show the back. A very versatile project. It can be worn front to back. What I did for the sleeves was, after I made the 2 body panels, and how I close them off is I literally did exactly what you do in the video to close off the little one. I just did it for the big one identical. I didn't like change, I did it identically. Also, I did stitch markers to remember where to increase around the corners, by the way. Eventually you just kind of learn it, but yeah, I had to do stitch markers in the first part. And then I connected the 2 panels, didn't connect like the arm part, and you could put on as like kind of like a boxy tank. And then I just kind of started adding double crochets around the like, this is the end of the panel right here, and then this is the first row of that, and then I just kind of went around and around. I also never weaved in the ends. I double knotted them together and I left them. So yeah, I would probably do a magic knot now to connect them so I wouldn't have to weave in ends, but I didn't think about it. So yeah. The next project is Hexi-cardigans. Again, this is in the granny square family. If you haven't made a Hexi-cardigan before, basically you make a granny square, but instead it's a granny hexagon, and you start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the center, and then it operates the same as a granny square, where you do 2 into each corner and then 1 into the like not corner part, and it ends up making this. When you fold it, and ignore that yellow bit at the end, it makes like this, which is an arm. And then this was my first one I ever made, so I made mine cropped, and then I just added onto the sleeves. If you keep going around on all sides, do take into account that it's going to make the arms larger and longer and the body larger and longer, so it can make a really nice baggy fit. I've made so many of these, and I do have them listed on Etsy if y'all are interested to purchase. Link is in the description. But anyway, yeah, so this is the first one I made. Basically, you just make 2 of those and then you connect them together. This was one skein of yarn that I used that did color changes for me. And then I just added a different yellow at the ends. Yeah, honestly, super easy, great way to use up yarn, and then you're left with a cute cardigan at the end, so like who wouldn't want to do that? Okay, this next project is kind of like a 2-in-1 idea where I'm, first off, sorry, I think y'all are crooked. First off, I'm telling y'all that if you have a lot of yarn, just double strand things. I mean, like, seriously, double strand blankets, double strand, like, find things double strand. I'll put some things up here. I made this basket and I double stranded it, and it holds my socks, and it is lovely. It's 2 things of yarn that are variegated, double into each, and then you do you increase and then do one without an increase, and then increase one without it, and then every row you go up you add one more that is increased in between each increase. I did that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and then I did double crochets into the back loop of that row, and I built up this part. And then to add these, you just chain over the amount. You want to do like maybe a couple more if you want to kind of make it like this instead of like flat, and then you connect it and then go around. But yeah, anyway, you can make these probably sturdier than what I've done. Mine's just kind of loosey-goosey because I've been holding socks in it to a large amount. Like, it's not supposed to hold as many as I shove into it. But these are a great way to make project bins for your yarn collection. Now, that's not to say that that means you can now buy more yarn, but you can even make it to put yarn scraps into. You can make it for possibly trash if you make it sturdy enough. I'm sure you could probably triple strand it and make it like, but yeah. So I mean, baskets are versatile. You can even gift away items in them if you're somebody who doesn't like buying bags. I'm currently putting my socks back into the bin. If you're somebody who doesn't like buying bags for stuff, you can always just crochet a bag for them instead. I think that's a great way to use up yarn and double strand it so that it's nice and sturdy. So there's that. Also, if you are looking at some of these blankets or hats even, and are not sure of what to do with these, like if you say like, oh, well, I already have 8 blankets, I don't know why I would make more, where I would do it. Donation shelters will always be accepting blankets. You can always go local. I will also do some research and link some places in the description for you to check out and see if you can find. I don't know if I'll be able to find a website where it's like things local to you, but yeah, always look for places to donate or even give away. You can give them to I'm sure. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but some schools I know do accept those things to give out to children in need that go to their school. We have some places local to us where they will accept coats and hats and stuff, and they will accept crochet hats because they are very warm. So make sure to be checking those out if maybe you are like, well, I have a surplus of yarn, but if I have a surplus of blankets, then I have the same problem. Well, you can donate. I'll try to find some resources. I also have heard now of Project Linus, which you can donate acrylic yarn to if you just want to get rid of your acrylic yarn and don't want to make something from it. I've heard that they accept that. Alright, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and check out my Etsy and Mercari down below if you would like to buy some stuff. Every pattern I've talked about is linked down below. The pictures are sourced off of Pinterest. Yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. Toodles!